the name and address of landlords to be provided. Now, if you look at the, so we all know that not only is it the Property and Stock Agents Act that's coming into play on the 23rd of March, so is the new residential tenancies regulations coming, that they will commence as of the 23rd of March as well. So we've got to get our heads around so many different things at the moment. And this is one of them. When you look at Schedule 1 in the new regulations for residential tenancies, it actually talks right at the beginning. The agreement is made on between the landlord, and where it says between, you know, the tenant and the landlord, it's actually talking about insert, and I'm just reading straight off the standard form of the residential tenancies agreement, that is insert name and telephone number or other contact details of the landlord. Now, this has been raised, and it was raised at a meeting with Fair Trading, and we've actually had some clarification on that. So when you look at what the actual regulations state that are coming in on the 23rd, it actually states, you know, in section 27, that a landlord must give the tenant written notice of certain matters. The first one of those matters, so part A, is the name, telephone and business number of the landlord's agent, that's you, and the name and telephone number or other contact details of the landlord. Now, you know, yes, we were trying to be, you know, look at this, you know, landlords give their properties to you as an agent to manage so they don't have to deal with the tenant. Full stop. That's your job. But let's have a look at, you know, why is this happening? So this is, you have to give the name of the tenant. And what we've actually had provided to us by Fair Trading, all of us, in their letterbox put out, and it's on their website, what they've actually stated is landlords are required to give their name and a way for their tenant to contact them directly, even if they use an agent. So the landlord's contact details can be a telephone number or other contact details such as an email address. So that a landlord cannot, these are the words of Fair Trading, a landlord cannot nominate their agent's contact details instead of their own. So traditionally we have always, even though since 2010 this has been in the legislation that it's the landlord's contact details, so name and other contact details, it's been there, but they're now, with these refining of the regulations, they're making a real point about this, okay? So when a tenant cannot contact an agent or get an answer from an agent, and an agent saying, oh, you know, the landlord says no, or the landlord, I can't get in touch with the landlord, here's an opportunity for the tenant to be able to go straight to the landlord. So here's, you know, it concerns me, you know, on a whole range of levels, this, but I can also, a little bit of me can see where it's coming from. So, and when it says the landlord cannot nominate their agent's contact details instead of their own, well, that's what we've always done, but now there's been very clear about this. So obviously if a landlord doesn't use an agent, then it's their details anyway. So tenants must be given this information in writing before they sign the residential tenancy agreement, or it's included in the tenancy agreement. So it's either given beforehand or it's part of. You'd want evidence. If this is going to be questioned, you'd want evidence. Evidence goes in the residential tenancy agreement. Tenants also need to be advised within 14 days of any change to the landlord or agent's details during the tenancy. Yeah, we've all been good at changing the agent's details. If the managing agent changes, yes, obviously the new managing agent will say, hey, we're over here, pay your rent, and we're managing your property now. But this is also now about the landlord's details. Now, I guess the best advice that we can look at here is if the landlord is really specific about saying, no, I don't want my details on this, you know, this is what I'm paying you for, this is, I don't want to be contacted by the tenant. If you don't put something on there, you're breaching the legislation. You don't need to be doing that on behalf of anybody. So I guess where you're at here, and there's a little bit of a stalemate, is teaching, instructing your landlords to get an email address that is specifically for the management of their property. So, you know, they may have more than one property, so they may give that out to every agent that's managing different properties in different locations, or all, if it's all one agent managing multiple properties for them. So, you know, it's, you know, it could be the street name if they've just got one property, or whatever they want to call it, at, you know, Gmail, at Hotmail, at Big Pond, at Yahoo, whatever address they're using. But so their normal email, their work email, their normal personal email doesn't get clogged with things from the tenant, and then they can have a separate email that just looks at their property issues. So, and I mean, and if they choose to flick that straight back to the agent because they're paying you to manage their property, then that's their choice. But you must comply with this new requirement that is, as I said, not new in terms of being in the legislation, new in terms of it being pushed through into the standard form of the residential tenancy agreement. So it's been made much clearer. So you need to work out how you're going to deal with that within your office by the 23rd of March. And, you know, you need to start every new lease that you enter into. Remember, this is residential. Every new residential lease that you are entering into, you need to provide these details. So here's an action plan for you in terms of making sure that you get something back from all your landlords about when we're providing details, your contact details for the tenant, what email address would you like, or a phone number, or perhaps you create a new email address. This is the way to do it. So, you know, that's sort of our best solution to clause 27 and the requirements for you as agents under that clause.